Pleasure morning, happy learners, happy viewers. Once again, we shall continue with respect to the communication skills. As you know, communication is once again we are going to take and decide with a word called communos. Communos means sharing of thoughts. It is nothing but the sharing. Therefore, whatever the communication, it may be the verbal communication or non-verbal communications. The interactions between two or interaction between mass, interaction between public, we call as a communications. Communication has to play some predominant role with respect to the exchange of thoughts, that is nothing but sharing of thoughts. Here in the skill of communication, if you adopt some skills, ನೋಡಿ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಯಂಗ್ ಲರ್ನರ್ಸ್, ಸಂವಹನ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಹೇಗಿದ್ರೂ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯಂಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಸಂವಹನ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ. ಮಾತಾಡೋದೇ ಒಂದು ಧರ್ಮ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದಾಗ ಕೆಲವೊಂದ್ಸಲ ನಾವು ಬಾಡಿ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ವರ್ಬಲ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾನು ವರ್ಬಲ್ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ವರ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ವರ್ಬಲ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ಟು ಅನದರ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ as such. As and when the speech flow, we need some sort of the ಏರಿಳಿತಗಳು ಅಥವಾ intonation sounds. ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಎಂಫಸೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕೇಟರಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ effective communication skill. Effective communication skills is always followed with LS or W kind of things, where listening is more important. If you listen, then you have to speak it. After speaking, you have to write. And once again, read. This is the way of communication flows. Then only you can attain very good. That is nothing but skill of communications. As we know that English is concerned, English, once again, I would like to repeat it, that is with the only alphabets. That is not in order. If you're going to consider Kannada or other things like this, ಆ ವರ್ಣಮಾಲೆನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ವರ್ಗಗಳನ್ನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಯಾವುದು ರಸಸ್ವರ, ಯಾವುದು ದೀರ್ಘಸ್ವರ, ಯಾವುದು ಯೋಗವಾಹ, ಯಾವುದು ಅನುಸ್ವಾರ, ವಿಸರ್ಗಗಳು, ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ವರ್ಗೀಯ ವ್ಯಂಜನಗಳು, ಅವರ್ಗೀಯ ವ್ಯಂಜನಗಳು ಹಾಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಆದರೆ English concerned, English, that is a formal language now, it play a role with respect to the globalization. As we are empowering with respect to that issue, we should have to learn. But on the other hand, there exists some complexity. If you're going to consider one word, it is in that context, and where the context and consequences we have to speak, and that word has its own weight. If you're going to consider produce, if you're going to use that one pro, where you are going to PRO, then that works as a noun. If you're going to put a stress on that, if you're going to use some dues at the time, that comes to be the verb essence. Therefore, it has its own complexity while learning English and exhibiting the facts with respect to English. And anyhow, my dear young learners, today we shall once again concern with respect to the diphthongs, are concerned with respect to the vowel sounds once again, and later we shall think about what is again the complexity of aspiration, and it has the intonation varied and syllabification with respect to some more consonants, dear young learners. Okay, let's get started with respect to this. You see, if you're going to consider as and when, we know that vowels we do have 5 vowels are there, and once again Y we can call as a sneaky Y that plays a game with respect to the sneaky Y as such, and once again W sometimes we consider to be semi-vowel mode. Therefore, the concepts of learning with respect to the vowels, here we do have some sort of that, you can think over that. For example, to say, I'd like to pronounce the word as toy, joy, try, boy, like that, where that exhibits O and Y also. O again, you know that Y is nothing but vowel, and Y is also semi-vowels that way. Here, that is a thing like this. ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತ ವಿಷಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಓ ತರನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ವೈ ತರನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಟಾಯ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಓ ಇಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಂಡ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಓಯ್ ತರ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. I ಥರ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Therefore, ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋದ್ರೇನು ಸಹ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸ್ಲೋ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಓ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಡಬ್ಲ್ಯೂ ಸಹ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Glow, or you can blow like that will comes to the picture. If you're going to consider BLUE, 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 and once again BLEWE is there, that is nothing but one is blue, another one is also blue. Therefore, how the pronunciation, how that will be works, this is we considered and we headed with respect to the diphthongs. Diphthongs is nothing but it is with the two vowel, it is with the consecutive vowels. It is, you can consider OY, or it may be AI, or it may be EI. These kind of things. If you're going to consider a bail, sail, like that, there A and I both will work. Therefore, these type of thing we call as long vowel sound. Therefore, diphthongs that creates long vowel sound. Once again, and I'll repeat, my dear young learners, here what is the difference between short vowel and long vowel, my dear students? Here the concept you can consider. You can think like this: sit, bit, pit, like that comes. But on the other hand, you can use it sight. The same I works as a long vowel sound. If you're going to consider sit or kit, it is only in the short vowel sound I. If you're going to consider the same thing, sight, kite, the same I, that with elongated, that is nothing but long vowel sound that creates. Therefore, we should have to cater and we have to learn, that is the thing like this. My dear young learners, we should have to think like, in English, spelling is not only predominant role playing with respect to the communication, but on the other hand, here the communication has its own weight with respect to the phonetic sounds. Sound creates much more intention with respect to the skill of communication rather than the spelling orientation. Spelling orientation is needed, but not always. We are not supposed to think as such. For example, to see here, it might be the kite, where the kite we can write in the way of KITE is there, and smile you can consider. Or here you can see here, this E we call as magic E. This we call as magic E. Most of the words ends with E doesn't pronunciate as such. You can see that is the kit is there. Please observe and please think, and please think in this manner, my dear young learners. Here I would like to write as kit. But if you're going to add E to this, that becomes kite. Kit turns to kite. But E is a magic E here. That doesn't take place in the pronunciation, but the spelling orientation is there in this regard. Therefore, I here, the sit or kit is with a short vowel, turns to the long vowel because of long vowel sound, because of the predominance with respect to the E. But what is the structure with respect to E here? We can call as magic E. It doesn't work or doesn't pronunciate. But how we are going to consider kit is converted to kite is only because of influence of E here, my dear young learners. Therefore, this most of the thing we can consider smile, kite, bite. It has bit is there. Bit is converted to bite. TE is there. But on the other hand, this turns to short vowel, converts to long vowel in nature. Long vowels, that predominates here. I hope you got it. Here the thing is like, we have to think most of the cases, that is how the pronunciation, how the spellings did different. If we're going to write E that play a predominant role with respect to the influence of E, that is a magic E. Magic E is nothing but it is entirely silent in nature. Entirely silent in nature. But that play, that the meaning of this kit to the kite, it varies, my dear students or young learners. Here, there are something, just I would like to recap in this regard. Vowel without vowel, there is no syllable at all. Syllabification is nothing but entirety with respect to the pronunciation. Pronunciation, what are the influential factors with respect to the alphabet consonants? Alphabet consonants, we should have to think of that. It is with the vowel, if you are going to consider, there exists a short vowel. Short vowel andre ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಆ ಒಂದು ಶಬ್ದದ ಉಚ್ಚಾರಣೆ. ಅದರೊಳಗಡೆ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಿದಲ್ಲ, ಸಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದೇ ತರ ಬಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದೇ ತರ ಕಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಅದೇ ತರ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಈ ತರದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ವಾವಲ್ ಬರತ್ತೆ. ಈ ವಾವಲ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ದಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ ವೇಟ್, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಡಿಫ್ತಾಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಡಿಫ್ತಾಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ sometimes you can consider, and please think in this direction. If we're going to consider A is again a vowel, I is again a vowel. Then if we're going to consider sail, sail is nothing but S-A-I-L. It is influenced with respect to the A sound and I sound. It's a mixture of that creates one long vowel sound, dear students. Here only one we are going to use as such. It may be the cat. It may be sit. It may be sit like that. Then we are going to influence. That is, sit is nothing but again a short vowel sound. If you're going to consider cat, cat is again a long vowel sound. A is influenced with respect to this type. We can consider and we can write in this manner. A and E, it is a mixture. It is like this. We are going to add in this manner. It both like this. This is nothing but the cat. Therefore, ka is once again that is a long vowel sound. If you're going to consider again, I told you, sit is converted to sight. Sight. I becomes a short vowel converts to long. These are the concepts like this: short vowel sound and long vowel sound that play a predominant role. If you're going to consider, even though there exist two vowels as such, if you're going to consider book, we are not supposed to call as book, but B-O-O-T is there. We are going to consider as boot. But in this book, it is only with respect to the book. Book is nothing but a short vowel sound, my dear students and young learners here. Therefore, what is the differences? You have to think, I told you, S or W, it is the most important. First, listen and speak then. Speak and listen. Listen and speak. Then only we can use that once again RP. That is, there is a pronunciation that plays a role here. I got it? Therefore, vowel play a predominant role. There exists diphthong. It is the union of two vowel sound and creates a long vowel sound that we call as a long and short vowel sound. Okay, let's have a small glimpse over consonant creations. Consonants here, as in when, if you're going to consider the consonants, there exist some K and T and P. Let us consider as such the K, T and P here. My dear young learners, please you see and you think like this. See, if you're going to consider these are the words, it may be there are so many words like this. If you're going to consider K and C, here K and C works with the same concept. T and P is there. P, T and K. If you're going to consider those words, it may started with, for example, to say, just spin. If you use the word as P is there, therefore the spin comes with the explosion of air. That is also called, that is nothing but Aries. That air, you can see and you can think of that, fool is there. P-O-O-L, fool. Then only there exists some sort of explosion. Explosion of air is there. Therefore, if you're going to consider K, T, P, These type of consonants we call as aspiration in English. Aspiration in English, if you can to start with K, cool, then an explosion of air that will be there. If you're going to consider K, T, P, this referred to be aspiration in English, dear students. Aspiration, the concept that is explosion of air that could have taken place with respect to these type of consonants, where you can consider T, K and P. And later we shall have some sort of the other issues with respect to N is there. If you're going to consider nest, nest is there with N. If you're going to consider the same nest and you're going to consider thing is here. If you're going to consider, if you're going to start with a nest or net, that we are going to talk, and the sound varied with respect to nest and nip kind of things. If you're going to consider then we are going to that the flow of speech, the flow of word that starts with a nostril area. Adar moogalli maataddange barutte. Like that. Could you got it? Once again, just I would like to please ensure that here, if you're going to consider N is there. N, there are so many words we can consider with respect to the simple way. If you want to consider N, therefore, we are going to write in the phonetic symbol as such. N, we can consider here like this. This is with a, and we are going to call as thin. Like this, we can going to consider. Therefore, N here, the long N that tells with respect to the speaking with respect to the nose area, like a nose, exhibition of the words that concern with the nose kind. Therefore, we consider N like this. We have to write this. Therefore, these are all the ideas we should have to concentrate on that. If you're going to consider some CH is there, then CH, it works as once again digraphs that will be with the C is a consonant and H is a consonant. There we are going to use the sound church. It is like a church. And you can consider SH as a push. Push, church, this kind of thing we are also considered with respect to the sound that pronounce with respect to communications of, that is the mingle or unification of consonants here, dear students. Therefore, what is some sort of the crucial things with respect to the English alphabet? You know that vowels, diphthongs, and the unification of consonants once again here. My dear young learners, you can see if you're going to write and you're going to spell this music. Yes, you can see the music is concerned with, it is the influence of Z is there. Please compare these two. Accuse is there. Accuse where the S sound ends. Or you can consider nose. Or if you're going to consider music, S tends to be Z is there. Therefore, this type of the crucial things you have to learn and listen, then only you can do some better communications. If you want to consider some other way, if you want to consider the word is called accumulate. In accumulate, you can see the pronunciation of accumulate. CCU is there, then CCU works as U. Therefore, this type of issues we call as sneaky Y. You can consider once again accumulate. Accumulate we can write in this manner. ACCUMULATE. In this, there exists, you can see the sound of U here and sound of U here. Once again, if you're going to use that accumulate, U is works as U kind of things. U, accumulate. And immediately, U here concerned as all kind of things. Ma, like that. Li accumulate and then consider ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ U ಅನ್ನೋದು Y ತರ consider ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ dear students. Therefore, these type of issues we call as sneaky Y. ಅದೇ ಥರ ಇದೇ ಯು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಬಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಆ ಥರ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, BUT ಬಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಅಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Therefore, the pronunciation of this is a Q. Again, U is there. Because we are going to call U as such, that may be the, what is that? It is entirely with respect to the vowel. But here, it works as consonant. A Q mullet. Again, U is concerned to be a sound. Therefore, these are the crucial things we can consider as such. Dear students, this is how the communication, skill of communication, pronunciation play important role in any word subject to the syllabification of the words. As and when we are going to have much more ideas with respect to these aspects, as what is aspiration, what is the magic E, where even though the influence of E should be there, what is the difference in nature with respect to the short vowel sound and long vowel sound, what is the influence of E here, okay, and how we are going to that plays important role with respect to the pronunciation is concerned. We studied all those things in this direction, my dear student. Okay, and anyhow, this is how the skill of communication that plays a predominant role with respect to the learning aspects of alphabets, that is with respect to the vowels and consonants as such. Okay, thank you, happy learners.